Hello, everyone. Welcome to TXAPA Live. I'm Harold Mullen, and we are delighted that you are here with us on our Thanksgiving edition of TXAPA Live. And today we're going to be having our President Geno Carrier with East Texas Asphalt and Jim Warren, our Director of Engineering and Technology that you just heard from. We're going to be having a conversation about some industry things that are going on, but what we want to hear from is you. This is an interactive program. We want to hear some questions for you from you. Let us know what's on your mind. Let us know what we can do for you. So if you will, please ask some questions today so I don't have to ask these guys just a ton of questions. So I'll be looking forward to sharing those with you. So like Jim said, you can ask anytime. You can go up there in the chat box, put that in there, and Jim will let us know, and we will get you up there. So please do that. But we are delighted that you are here on our Thanksgiving edition. To get our program started, we want to always have our safety share, and today's safety share is on ladder safety. That's right, ladder safety. The first time we ever did a safety share on ladder safety, I went, what in the world are we doing now? My goodness, what should we be focusing on ladder safety about? And the very next day, my son-in-law fell off a ladder and broke his wrist. So I learned that it can affect all of us at any time. So we want to be sure and pay attention to ladder safety. So let me get started with this. As the leaves begin to fall in Texas, it's the time of year to get your ladder out. From November 1st through January 31st, falling off a ladder caused 43% of fall injuries that required medical treatment. 43%, that's a huge number. Follow these ladder safety tips to prevent a potential injury this holiday season. And we know it is the holidays, and what do we do for Christmas? We put lights out, and we usually have to get our ladder out to do that. So this is very timely for all of us. Before using or moving your ladder, read the safety label. Oh my goodness, I have never done that until this.
Is that like instructions?
Yeah, yes, that's instructions, and you'll be shocked at what's on there. Please read that label. I mean, my goodness. So that's a good one. Inspect the ladder for cracks, loose rungs, and sharp edges. Sharp edges. I have actually cut my hand running up through that ladder trying to do that. So there's another great tip for you. Check that thing out before you use it real quick. Clean your ladder to prevent slippery conditions, and always wear slip-resistant shoes. I think that's one of the first things that they say is an issue is people slip off the ladder, they slip off the rungs because it's a slippery condition. So watch yourself right there.
So flip-flops or
yeah,
no?
Yeah, no flip-flops,
okay,
Jim. Sorry, yes. Make sure your ladder is tall enough for the job. Now, who has not done that? Me. I mean, I've been on my tiptoes. I've been reaching. I've been doing all kinds of stuff. That's not safe. That's just not where we need to be at all. When using a non-self-supporting ladder, be sure to position it at such an angle that the horizontal distance from the top support to the front of the ladder is about 1/4 the working length of the ladder. Okay, 1/4.
Got math.
Yes, well, we know how we are at that. Always use the 3 points of contact rule during ascent, descent, and while working on a ladder. The climber must face the ladder and have 2 hands and 1 foot, or 2 feet and 1 hand in contact with the ladder steps, rungs, and or side rails. This way, the climber is not likely to become unstable in the event one limb slips during the climb. Do not carry any objects in either hand that can interfere with a firm grip on the ladder. So, Jim, put that can of eggnog down or that glass of eggnog down and get up there without anything in your hands, okay?
10-4.
All right. So whether you are cleaning the leaves out of your gutters or hanging Christmas lights, stay safe this holiday season following these ladder safety tips. As usual, you can always find our safety shares on our webpage. So just go to our webpage and you'll find ladder safety as well as others there on our webpage.
All right. So I assume your mouth does not form a point of contact. You can't bite one of the rungs. That doesn't work.
No, Jim, I'm sorry. That will not work.
All right. So here we go, Harold. We're going to have our first quiz of the day.
Uh-oh.
Our only quiz of the day. And I don't know if, Geno, you can see this unless you've got it running separately. But I'm going to show Harold some pictures. And I'm going to show all you guys some pictures. And you guys pick which one of these is not safe. Okay, which one of these is not safe? So here we go. You ready?
Ready?
All right, here we go. Which one of these is not safe?
Let's see. How about all of the above?
All the above is the correct answer. Absolutely. All the above is correct answer. Thank you, Internet, for providing these examples of what not to do.
I think that's me and you on the right over there, isn't it? I'm not
No,
sure.
it is
Okay, all right, all right.
definitely not us.
Maybe Corey.
Maybe Corey. There you
Okay.
go.
Thank you for that, Jim. We sure appreciate that. All right, just a couple of things before we get into our conversation. We want to highlight a few things that are going on. And number one, we always love to talk about the TXAPA Scholarship Program because that program truly saves lives. Not only saves lives, it changes lives. It changes lives in a great and positive way. And I want to report on our fundraising efforts for that. As you know, we've been through a whole effort this fall, and want to report that we now have a grand total of $227,737.76.
Wow.
So $227,737 and Dale Rand's 76 cents. So thank you so much. Thank you, Jim.
Did you know that November is National Scholarship Month?
No, I did not know that.
Thank you, Jenna. We appreciate that.
National Scholarship Month. So thank you for that. Thank you for all of our generous members who have been donating to the scholarship program. We've got TXAPA partners, we've got other people who are donating too, and I just want to say thank you to each and every one of y'all for supporting our program, for enabling us to give out scholarships. You know, we have the Asphalt Rodeo coming up. The program to announce the winners is going to be December the 18th, and they get a scholarship. All team members of the winners of the rodeo will receive a TXAPA scholarship. So that's just where they're into play all the way around. So thank you very much. Also, just want to remind everyone that the specification and test procedure changes are still going on. Anytime you have an opportunity to comment on that when you receive information, please send that back to the parties that need to carry it on, because TxDOT's working on test procedures. That's what we're focusing on at TXAPA right now, is test procedures. There's a lot of those going on that will affect everybody. Yeah. So we want to be sure and get our comments in for that. I know AGC is working with TxDOT on the specification rewrite for their specification book. So there's a lot of things going on, a lot of changes, and work on that. So I encourage everybody, make sure you're involved somehow to participate. We thank TxDOT. Our TxDOT partners allow us that opportunity to be involved, to comment, and we just appreciate that fact too. So thank you very much. All right, with that, I want to just say hello to our president, Geno Carrier, East Texas Asphalt. Geno, how are you doing?
Hi, Harold. Hi, Jim. Doing real well. I appreciate y'all having me on again today.
You bet. It's our pleasure. How's everything with the Carrier family? I know we kept up with them earlier through all the COVID, but now we've had a little more time in between. How's your family and household doing?
Family's good. Everybody's healthy, fortunately, and just trying to keep on living life, even though it's kind of an oddball year. So
absolutely. Speaking of oddball, I want to bring in Jim Moran here.
Oh,
sorry.
That hurt.
So Jim, you know, I know you've been here a little over a year now, and unfortunately, you've got to enjoy COVID Texas. How have you and your family been doing?
We're doing fine, doing as well as we can. Our son joined us this year, and he's now in a master's program at Texas State. Winston, our French bulldog, has accommodated well to Texas, and our 20-year-old cat, unfortunately, she passed away a couple weeks ago, but 20 years is a long time, and so we're glad to have her, and we're just glad to be here. Glad to be here.
That's fantastic. A 20-year-old cat. My goodness, I don't know if I've ever heard of a pet reaching that age. So, man,
a good life.
Yeah, that's a celebration right there. So, good job. How about Thanksgiving plans, everybody? How about you, Jim? What are y'all gonna be doing for Thanksgiving?
We are staying home. We normally cook a big meal. So if anybody's in the neighborhood wants some food, come on by. Let me know. We'll have plenty, and that's just how we roll it. Even if it's just three of us or three of us and a Frenchie that's always hungry. So I'm sure he'll get a little bit of stuff, but we're looking forward to it. Donna's going to make a pie. So
Well,
all good.
I hope she makes a big enough one that she will share it up here too. So
That's a long weekend. I don't know if it'll be around then.
we can always wish.
There you
Gino, how
go.
about you and your group? What do y'all be doing Thanksgiving?
Oh, we're staying close to East Texas for Thanksgiving this year, and making hot mix is a family business out here. So we're gonna get to see Dad and my sister and her family, and make a big turkey, and probably get too full and take a nap. So
Fantastic.
So
Glad to hear that.
Harold, what are you going to do?
Hey, I'm going to be having a good time too. Thanksgiving is one of my favorite holidays, if not the favorite holiday of mine, because usually you get to share it with a bunch of family and your friends. You have everybody over and you're just having a grand old time. And we're going to watch the Egg Bowl and watch Mississippi State beat Ole Miss. And it's just usually a grand time. But you know what? That's all changed this year. It's crazy. We're not getting to do any of those things hardly. So we're going to find time somehow to spend it with a couple of family members and have that big old turkey and have a good time and watch some football. It might not be the Egg Bowl, but we'll watch a little football too. So we're looking forward to spending time with family and limited numbers that we can do it with. So that's what we'll be doing. Gino, you just got through having a board meeting earlier this week. It was very good. There again, you got 100% attendance of all the board members there. They've been great this year. We had a little report. I just wanted to bring to everybody's attention some of the activities that's going on at TXAPA, what's been happening, what we're doing. And number one, I just want to report on committee activities. Our committees have not stopped. Our committees have been extremely busy through this program. And just to let you know, the Sealcoat Steering Committee, the joint committee with TxDOT, just recently met. The Quality Initiative, Asphalt Pavement Quality Initiative Committee met. That's a joint committee meeting with TxDOT also. We had the President's Advisory Committee. They met. Our Finance Committee met. Of course, the Board of Directors continues to meet on a monthly basis. And we had our Quality Paving and New Technology Committee meeting. We've also had another meeting of the TxDOT TXAPA Quality Asphalt Pavement Awards. Glenda Borak, co-chair, and David Stevens, they met and are initiating the program for next year for our awards program. And that's what Josh Houston and the Quality Paving and New Technology Committee were doing for the TXAPA Awards program. They were getting that kicked off, making sure everything's going to be working. So lots of committee activities going on right there. And also we're getting ready for those committees to come in and talk to us about what's been going on and what to look for in 2021. Craig Odom is coming in with his strategic planning session in December. So we're going to have lots of activities there. Real quickly, just other programs been going on. Our liquid asphalt suppliers, our major associate members, they had their own meeting. They looked at TxDOT presented a dashboard of how test results are. It's extremely good information. It's information that everybody was delighted to see in this fashion. We know TxDOT is working on that to make that a public item, probably in December, sometime in December. So, Jim, I think that's what I heard at the committee meeting.
Yep.
So we are looking forward to having the dashboard where everybody at that time can see liquid asphalt test results. And that will be results from a QC point of view monthly from the liquid asphalt supplier, and also project tests that are done when the district sends those samples in to materials and tests. So we're looking forward to seeing that and just to see how we're all doing. And it's just going to be there to make us all better. So
yeah, we saw an early draft of that, and I think they've got it. It's very simple to use. I think it's going to be very, very valuable to a lot of people.
You bet. Great job over there at Materials and Tests for bringing that program forward. Sealcoat, we always are working hard on that. We just recently had a debriefing on the Sealcoat season. We thought that was very positive. We had good comments there on what had happened and what can we do better in the future. So very good Sealcoat debriefing. The Sealcoat group is also working on their awards program. That will happen next year. We're going to have a Sealcoat Awards program in Texas for sure next year. So we have committees that are working on that right now. Also, there's a brand new committee out there that's meeting to talk about Sealcoat certification. What does that look like? What does that seem like? Can we have certification? And the answer is yes, it looks like, because there's a group looking at that. And I think the first types of certification that might be looked at is going to be on the inspector side. So that would be something that you want to hear more about, and there's lots of discussion. It's a joint program that everybody's looking at, and everybody's voice will be heard. Yeah, Jim?
I think one of the things I heard in some of the meetings lately is that, the program itself this year went very well.
Yes.
There were very few hiccups or whatever, and I think that is causal to a lot of the training that went on earlier in the year. So I think we're moving in the right direction with this.
No doubt about it. I agree with that. Yeah, we had great success this year and look forward to much more. Chuck Fuller cranked up our PIQ programs. He had 2 recent partners in quality meetings, and we want to bring that up to let you know that they are going on. I think Yoakum is going to be held next month, but he recently held the Austin District Partners in Quality meeting. That was very good. And also the Abilene, Brownwood, and San Angelo districts got together and had a good partners in quality meeting there. So partners in quality meetings are underway. All you great construction engineers out there, be ready for Chuck sending you an email or phone call, or if you want to just reach out to him, either way, let's get one scheduled. And we're looking forward to do that. We've got some great topics that we're able to share. And of course, any topics that you have, we want to hear what those are so we can talk about good quality asphalt and what gets that good quality asphalt pavement. Also, we had several other meetings, new member orientation. I bring that up for anybody that wants to hear about the services of TXAPA, how you get involved with that, how you can get plugged in. Emily Adams has come up with a member orientation. It kind of focuses on new members, but it's eligible for anybody that wants to come through there. We're going to be holding those twice a quarter. So 2 times each quarter, we will have one. And this was her second one that she just had. So in January or that first quarter, we'll be having 2 more. Also, balanced mix design. That's something real big that's in the development stages. There's lots of projects going on with that kind of specification being utilized out there. So there needs to be a time when we bring that research back in and start talking about a more permanent specification. At the Asphalt Pavement Quality Initiative Committee, it was agreed that we need to set up a joint committee to start looking at what a more permanent balanced mix design specification will look like. So this committee of both TxDOT and industry people will sit down to look over the results of the projects that are going on out there and to further develop a specification on balanced mix design. Balanced mix design is gathering a lot of support throughout the country. FHWA has really been involved, of course, with NCAT has been working real hard on that. So there's all discussions going on throughout the country on balanced mix design, and certainly Texas is leading efforts on that again. So thank you to TxDOT partners. We'll be getting together to have more information shared on that. Also, Jim, why don't you tell us a little bit, if you don't mind, about the winter training program that we're developing here at TXAPA for our TXAPA members, and even our TxDOT partners could utilize it. So tell us about the winter training program.
Yeah, what we've decided to do, I think this was Harold's idea, and what we're taking is a lot of the materials that we've developed this year via the TXAPA Lives and some of the other series that we've done, the optimization series, the troubleshooting series, and we're converting those into small modules that individual companies can use, our member companies can use to do some winter training. So these modules can be 15 minutes long, they could be 2 hours long, totally customizable. But we've gone back and we've taken the first 2 series, we've taken the troubleshooting series, we've taken the optimization series, we've broken those down by segment, or actually by the questions that we're going through, and have developed basically a lesson plan for the contractors to use to get some people in the room, do some brainstorming, figure out what the issue is, do some problem solving, let's watch the video, do some additional problem solving, and actually create an action plan for themselves on those particular topics to go back then and implement in the spring. So we think it's a really neat little opportunity, and it'll be available on the members side of the website. And so, this is a member benefit, as Harold says. And so this will be out there. If you go to the member side, you'll be able to see that. We're putting it up over the next couple of weeks. We're just getting it up there right now. And so I know Emily and Jenna will be putting some information out as soon as it's available for you guys to go and start making some plans. So we've got some stuff ready for you to use this winter. So looking forward to it. And give us some feedback if you think it works or not. I'd love to know.
Excellent, Jim. Thank you so much. we just really enjoyed putting on the optimization series, the troubleshooting series. Jim and his partners did a great job with that. So we want to utilize that information. That's just not a one-off thing. That information can be shared and utilized from now on. So we know that there's going to be times this winter when you're looking for a training opportunity, you're looking to fill that time for your people, or you just want to make sure some of your guys are up to speed on everything, guys and gals. And this is a perfect way of doing it because we talk about mixed designs, we talk about plant operations, we talk about placement operations. So this will be a great program, and Jim's exactly right. As soon as Emily has that package put together, she and Jenna will let everybody know that it is available for you. So thank you very much. All right, and not to be left out, Corey, you know, everybody was wondering, how in the world are we going to get everybody coming back through the certification program that needs to be certified? You know, we had a lot of moving extensions. We had people who were expiring, but all this kind of stuff, and everybody was wondering, can we get through in time? Can I get in my class? The answer has been yes. Corey and his team over there have done a dynamic job. As y'all well know, we now have virtual certification, which is online certification. It's not virtual, it's real, but it is online. But they have done a great job. And I just want to report to let you know that people can get through. We had 489 students last month. 489 students come through the program. So that's the most ever. They did have capabilities to do more. So we just want to report that if you're thinking I can't get into the class, don't think that. You can get into class, you can get certified. We have training classes available, and we also have certification classes available in both soils and hot mix. So
yeah, I think they got snowed out, didn't they? And that's what limited one of their classes.
They did. Yes. They had one of the districts from up north could not participate after getting snow. So that's the only reason why they didn't reach that big 500 mark, I believe. So. But congratulations, Corey and his group, for meeting the industry needs, for meeting all of our needs for certification, and doing a great job on that. All right, so I want to get to a few questions here for our great guest. And Geno, you know, number one, talking about success stories and accomplishments in the industry. How about raising $227,000 for our scholarship program? What do you think about that?
I'm just floored by the generosity of our members and our partners. And, you know, we raised $227,000 with no auction, with, I mean, very little fundraising ability. And really, it's just because our members ponied up and wrote a check, and they knew how important it was to keep these scholarships going for the future of our industry. And they really exceeded my expectations. I'm just super proud of everybody. So.
You know, I totally agree with you. You know, our TXAPA members, we have a history of stepping up. I mean, that's just what our membership does. We're not shy. We're not bashful. Whatever needs to be done, we'll stand up and get that done. Thank you, members, for doing that. Great job for the scholarship program that changes lives. No doubt about that.
Absolutely.
You know, Geno, through COVID-19, we've had all kind of things going on. There's been ups and downs. There's been success stories. There's been all kind of things out there. You know, how has East Texas Asphalt been able to navigate through COVID? And, you know, did you have any very unusual challenges or anything like that this year?
You know, we had probably similar challenges to what everyone else had. You know, we went home in the office for a while, and we had to figure out how to work from home. We're a small business, and we were not geared up for that. And we were real fortunate to have good partners with technology, and our employees, they took safety very seriously. They followed the rules that we set forth, and, you know, when they enabled us to keep working. You know, we never lost a day due to COVID, even though we lost, you know, people for a period of time along the way. And we were real fortunate not to have anyone get seriously ill or, you know, have any major complications or anything like that. And I mean, I know we're still in it, but you know, that's kind of where we are. And I think we're stronger because of it. You know, our communication has improved, and it's actually going to turn out to be a pretty good year, I think. So,
I agree with you, Geno. You know, it seems like that the partnership really grew between the industry and TxDOT because everybody was out there trying to make things work. They were on the front lines. They were under a lot of pressure and a lot of issues that were happening, and everybody rallied together and made it happen. So, man, thank you to everybody that did that. So, it's really, we were really worried about supply chains of different materials, of the railroads, trucking, that type of thing. No major issues on your side?
Not at all. Our partners at the railroads, at all of our associate members, our rock, our aggregate quarries, our refiners, our liquid suppliers, trucking companies. I'm going to tell you what, everybody stepped up to the plate, and we just got projects done, and we got some of them done faster than we thought we would. We've highlighted some of those stories throughout the state. I've been very proud of everyone. It was like they never missed a beat.
We're talking about getting projects done. I know some of those projects that you did were under the new specification. Can you give us some experience of, from your perspective on how the new specification turned out, and were there any challenges with that?
Well, I think the new specification, and I'm speaking mostly towards item 3077 in particular, I think it's definitely improved the quality of our mix. And I got to give a hand to our TXAPA partners that and our spec committees and all those people that worked on those specifications. We've made better mix, and we've accomplished some of our goals. I will say that these mixes are really touchy, and I think we have a little bit of work to do on the specification to make them workable, because they are more difficult to make. There's no doubt about that. I like to call them, they're a little twitchy when it comes to gradation. So sometimes it feels like you can breathe on them wrong, and they'll just change on you. So I think we got a little bit of work to do. I think it's marked improvement, definitely in the quality of the pavement we're getting out there. And I do think that the taxpayer is getting a better value for their dollar. So.
You bet. You mentioned those committees that were working on specifications, and you're right. I know Jimmy White in the Level 2 Mixed Design Committee and Eric Suarez and his specification committee have been meeting a lot, talking about the specifications, helping TxDOT look at some of those things. So there's been a lot of people involved besides just the comments from everybody that's going out there. So a lot of people looking at those, and we encourage more people to look at that. So that's a positive, Geno, that we're going to take away from that. So, Jim, I know you and Chuck have been doing a lot of the custom training program we have on specifications for our membership. Have you been receiving comments back on that they're having any issues with anything, or is there one particular item that you think really needs to be stressed?
Well, it's been a busy year for everybody, and when you add in a new specification and a mixed along with everything that's going on, sometimes people aren't looking at it as hard as they need to. And there's a lot of little details in the specification. That's why they gave it another number, because there were so many changes. With any specification, there's going to be a learning curve. There's been some significant changes, particularly with the gradation, by going fairly coarse with it. And when you do that, you got to really have an eye on your aggregates, and really control your aggregates, really know what's in the pile, make sure everything's calibrated. And as Geno said, you can see some variation in that. But that's just something people have got to keep an eye on. All the stuff we talked about with optimization, all the stuff we talked about with troubleshooting, about understanding what's in your pile, all your calibrations, understanding how your plant operates is critical to making this mix. So again, you can go back and watch the videos. You can do the winter training. We'll get through it. Everybody, whenever there's a new specification, there's always a little bit of a, something or another. But, we get through it, move on. And our contractors, they'll get through it. They'll figure it out, and we'll move forward. But we'll have to tweak it somehow. No doubt. We just got to figure out what to do. Thanks.
You bet. No, always partnerships are working together to always improve, and we will be able to make that work even better. One of those programs I know, Jim, that you have been working on to make things better for inspectors is the Inspector Education Series. And I know you've been reaching out to inspectors here recently from San Antonio District and other places, and putting some finishing touches on the educational series. Can you give us an update on that?
Yeah, we are about ready to kick this thing off over the beginning of the year. We're going to do it a little bit differently than what we expected to do it last year. We're going to be doing it online and virtual. It'll be a combination of online lectures via Zoom, plus online homework via a learning management system. So we're kind of, as we've kind of changed a little bit of things the way we do around here, we're kicking it up a notch as far as training and education. But we think it's time to do it. We think there's great opportunities here to really reach out and make sure the inspectors know what they're responsible for and feel comfortable about it. And I think that's when they feel comfortable about what they're supposed to be doing, and they understand what to look for and what to look at, and what's critical and what's not critical. They're going to do their job better. They're going to help our contractors stay on task. And guess what? As an end result, we're going to get a better product. So I'm looking forward to it. Information will be coming out probably within the next month on it as far as registration. We're getting all that set up now. But we plan right now is to start in February, beginning of February. We're going to do the class twice a week for 3 weeks. It'll be two 2-hour sessions a week for 3 weeks, plus some homework. So it'll be about a 16, 17, 18-hour course when you add it all up together. And we're excited about it. We're looking forward to getting this thing out there.
You bet, Jim. Appreciate that. We are excited about that. That's been one of the things that our Quality Initiative Committee has been looking for is a way to help bring our inspectors up with the latest specifications, test about all these things that are changing. Our inspectors certainly need to be up to speed on all those type of things. So we feel like this program is going to be really helpful for those folks and overall for the quality of asphalt pavement. So thanks for that. And also later on in the year, Jim will be rolling out our engineers educational series. So there will be educational series just for engineers to talk about designs, pavement designs, mix types, all those type of things. And of course, we'll continue to have our information being shared on production operations and placement operations. So we want to continue that education series for everybody there, and that will be continuing to happen throughout 2021.
Hey, we got our first customer already. Thank you, Josh. He says, I look forward to the inspector training and look forward to attending.
Fantastic. All right. We like that. We will. we look forward to having those people come in, and so that's going to be another great program. So appreciate that. Look forward to seeing you here or online. I know we want to do them here, but Jim, you're having to do that online. But as soon as we get the green light, we will start putting them on here too. But it will be online for next year for sure. All right. Geno, I'm going to hit you up first on this. You have a lot of technicians in your shop. You have 1A technicians, you have level 2, you have 1Bs, you have soils and base technicians. Corey has a program going on, or the HMAC has a program going on that your job is important and your job matters. And they have gone into a whole, we had several presentations on that, and we've had several TXAPA Live sessions on that. Mm-hmm. About how important it is and having people prepared, because we've had some people not prepared when they come here to get certified or when they show up at a job site. So, Geno, I'm just really curious as to what kind of efforts you put into your technicians and have them prepared for them to do their job out in the field.
Well, typically when we make a new hire in our lab, we start them off from the ground up, and we train them generally for about 6 months before we send them to get their first certification. Typically, well, depending on what we need, the 1B or the 1A. Now, my lab technicians, normally we try to get them certified through all facets of the business, even though maybe that's not their job every day, but we want them to understand the full gamut of what we do, because their job is probably one of the most important jobs out there in the company. Because if you think about it, of these thousands of tons of mix and millions of dollars that we have laying out there on the road, we get paid out of a bucket or a little box, and it's got to be right, and they have to know what they're doing, and we do it. We make every attempt to prepare them for what they're doing before we ever send them down to get certified. So that's our goal, is that our goal really is that when they go to get certified, that's one of the easier days that they've got.
Got you. Great program. Glad to hear that. I know we are always excited when somebody is trained already, when they have the information, they know their equipment, they know how to run these procedures. That makes life easier for everybody. And certainly when they go out in the field, I guess I want to ask you this, because this question has come up a couple of times, because we've actually had these issues happen here. We're hearing more about it. Is that some technician shows up and says, "Hey, I'm here. What do I do?" And so, have you encountered that situation where you had a technician that might not have been up to speed? And what would you do in that situation?
So I've not encountered it with one of our people, one of our employees, but I have encountered it on projects. I think it's more prevalent maybe on private jobs that I've been, been involved with, is where I've seen it more often. But, we watch how they take samples, and if they're not taking a sample properly, or they're not, we let them know. We let them know what's going on, and then we'll bring out the spec book and we'll show them, okay, this test procedure says we got to do it like this. We might need to do this again, and that's just what we do. We typically have a pretty good partnership with everybody that we work with, and we never try to throw anybody under the bus, but we're pretty proud of our product, and we would like it to be tested properly. So.
Geno, it seems like that's been the answer. That has been the answer to the question, what do you do when somebody shows up? See something, say something. That's what we always have with safety. See something, say something. That's what we have here. If somebody's not up to speed, we need to, and we see that, we need to say something. And if that person cannot change, then we need to go up the ladder, because that communication is vital. That's what
Absolutely.
we learn in the all hands meeting and in other ones, is that the communication is vital. And so you just need to take that next step up there. There's an escalation ladder for all kinds of situations. And having somebody who does not know what they're supposed to do, that needs to be communicated. Jim, have you got any comments on that?
Yeah, we need another couple hours though for when it really gets started on this. But I mean, not to Geno's absolutely right. The way our specification is set up, the way all specifications are set up, you're going to take a small sample and you're going to assume that's representative of the whole. And so number one, we have to get a good sample. I started out as a technician long time ago, and I remember that. And I started as a consultant technician. And honestly, I think sometimes people don't understand the why it's important to get these good samples, why it's important to follow the procedure, because there's a lot of money riding on this. And it's your job as the technician, your job as the person taking the sample or running the sample, to do it absolutely perfect each and every time. That's your job. Your job's not to interpret, your job's not to make a shortcut, your job's not to do that. Your job is to follow the procedure and be as precise as you can, doing it each time the same way. When you're doing that, you're the best technician out there, and we want to encourage you guys to do that. We've got to get good samples, and we've got to test them properly. There's so much riding on this, and I mean, the contractor wants to get paid, but the agency also wants to know, if the sample isn't tested right, well, they could be accepting substandard material. And so from a taxpayer's perspective, I don't want that either. So it benefits everybody to make sure that we've got the samples properly taken, properly tested. I'll shut up now because I can keep going on.
Sound like you can get a roll on that one.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I could keep going.
But it is it's so vital. That job is vital, and we're so fortunate in Texas to have a lot of great technicians out there. But we've got so much going on. There is so much work happening. Everybody is pulled in so many different directions. Not everybody gets the attention that they need. Not everybody has the time to absorb all the information they need to. And so sometimes we have a few people who show up that hasn't quite grasped the concepts yet, and we need to say something. We need to communicate about that, because it, like Jim was saying, that's important information for sure. So yes, sir, Jim.
And I think you could do it in a way that's building up, not tearing down. Everybody's got to start somewhere, right? Yeah. And so, I mean, even if you're brand new, you're new at this, you got to start somewhere. If you see somebody like that, help them along. You've been helped in your lifetime. Help somebody else along. There's a great opportunity to bring people up. Let them be excited about this, because if they come out and they don't know what they're doing, I remember doing that. I was scared. I was scared to make a mistake. So I think if we can help people understand what their job is, what their job function is, whether they're an inspector, whether they're a technician, whether they're a contractor, whether they're an area engineer or a district engineer. Let's make sure everybody knows what to do and feels comfortable doing what they're doing and feels comfortable enough about asphalt to make the right decisions.
You bet. One of those new technology items, I believe, that's going to help technicians, it's going to help our communication, it's going to help to keep up with things out there on the roadway, is going to be e-ticketing. E-ticketing is a new spec that's come through from TxDOT, and it's kind of a new technology. I know a lot of people are starting to work with it. Jim, why don't you bring us up to date? Because I know you were heavily involved in that, working with Buddy Williams and that group at TxDOT. Tell us about e-ticketing.
Yeah, Buddy Williams and Craig Odom were the co-chairs of the committee that helped put the program together. Started out, I think, around April, May. We got a draft out and started going through the process. And by the end of September, we had it approved. And so this is a fairly simple, fairly open type specification. But as Buddy said at the beginning, he says, I want an electronic version of a paper ticket. So I want the same information that's on the paper ticket. I want it electronically. I want to be able to accept or reject the material in the field. I want to be able to take field notes. And so that's what the specification says. And so we have made it to where any number of the vendors out there that make these systems are going to be able to meet this as long as they meet these very basic standards. The specification was approved and sent out on September 25th, I believe. It's going to go into effect in the January lettings, but if you've got a project out there now and you want to try it, you can go ahead and put in a supplemental and see if you can talk to district into letting you do it. I think it's going to be a benefit for a lot of people. It removes the paper. It keeps everything electronic. I think the department's going to love it because they're going to get a summary at the end of the day, and someone's not going to have to sit there and add up all the paper tickets, and they'll just get a digital version of it. So I think long term, I think 3 to 5 years from now, we're going to go on, God, can you remember when we did paper tickets? But, it's kind of like remember when you had a beeper or you used a fax machine, I mean, technology changes. And so we're just going to roll with it. And I think this is a good one to go with.
You mean we don't use fax machines?
When's the last time you got a fax?
Well,
Geno?
Recently.
we still have an active fax machine.
Okay. All right. You don't still have your beeper though, do you?
No. I kind of wish I did.
You know what? One other thing we talked about at the board meeting that I wanted to bring up and just get your opinions on, and because this affects everybody in our industry, as we well know, TxDOT is having to move away from sharing labs. We don't have to share labs, or we cannot share labs anymore. So we have to have different structures out there where we've only had one. And so there's lots of discussion about that, what that looks like, what do we need to do. I know it just Miles Garrison and I have talked repeatedly about that. Miles is working diligently on that. I know AGC, Glenn Dvorak and his committee's been working on it. Everybody's been working on it. It seems like that's one of the bigger issues we certainly have. But I think the key that we talked about in our board meeting was communication, and that we just need to work with our district partners to make sure they're getting what they need, and then also how we can provide that for them. What's your comments on that?
So my comments, I can only speak to my experience, but here in Lufkin, where I work, where we have our hot mix plants, we got a letter from the district. They kind of detailed kind of what they thought we were going to require, and we just reacted. We went ahead and went out and purchased the buildings according to the specification. They're already in place and ready to go. I think TxDOT is getting ready or is in the process of loading them up with equipment, and they're working with us real well. I mean, we just we want to have that partnership with TxDOT. We don't want to be at odds with one another. We know that this is something that is passed down on them from above. We really value the communication that we had when we shared labs. Everybody got along. We really worked well together. We tried to help one another, and I don't want to lose that. We've set our labs up either right next door or right facing each other. We're trying to make it very convenient to get back and forth because we don't want to lose the partnership that we've got with the TxDOT QCQA guys. I think at this point, The only machine that we're going to be sharing is the Super Pave press.
Yep.
And right now we already own those presses and we have them at every plant, and so we're just going to continue to use them. I have not had a negative experience with it. I want to make sure we don't sacrifice that personal aspect though when we're moving. That is my only fear, is that we move away from some of that personal relationship, because I think that's what this business is all about, relationships. And quality, it comes first, and after that, it's about relationships. So I just want to make sure we don't sacrifice that.
You bet. That's been a conversation, is that we don't want to lose that communication for sure. We don't want those TxDOT technicians or the industry technicians feel like they're on an island out there, to feel like they're out there by themselves now that they're being separated, and that there's still that working relationship we need to have. We feel like that separating our labs might possibly cause some more issues there, to where usually we could communicate easily, hey, what you got, and say, hey, what changes you gonna make, or whatever, and do it the right way. Some of that might not be as free. That discussion might not be as free. So we're kind of worried that we might see a few more challenges out there between test results and those type of things. So I just want to make sure that we're all doing what Geno was just talking about, was communicating, having that partnering relationship. That's what it's going to take. It's just working together and making sure that we are sharing information together that we can share. And the equipment, the Super Pave Gyratory is certainly one of those pieces of equipment that is allowed for us to share. And of course, everybody needs to have access to that. So thank you for those comments, Geno. Jim, do you have any? I'm sorry.
I guess one last thing, I guess I was just thinking while you were talking is, when you work shoulder to shoulder with somebody, you're comfortable talking to them about things that are going on. And that's what we got to make sure that we maintain, is that we're comfortable talking. They're comfortable with us, we're comfortable with them, and we cannot lose that. And then also, you brought up another good point about the equipment. When you're using the same oven, or you're using the same whatever it is, your results are going to be repeatable and predictable. And so we've got to make sure that we don't have different equipment fighting one another. So
Absolutely. Jim, do you have a comment?
Gonna need another hour, but Geno hit the nail on it. It's communicate. As we develop a little bit of distance, the need to communicate becomes even stronger. I know we were going to talk about all hands today, but all this talks about communicating and sharing results, sharing testing information in a timely fashion. If you see something that's out, you see something that's going the wrong way, or something that doesn't make sense, have the conversation. Don't wait. Do it right now. And so that's where we want to try to, find out, because it could be a bad sample. People get a bad sample every once in a while, and guess what? You get a bad sample, you're going to get a bad result. I can guarantee you. And they go together.
Yep.
And so we've got to be able to do that. So, as we add in more equipment, we do add in a variability. Now we go from almost a within lab to a between lab repeatability, and they're very different when you look at the specification, when you look at the test methods and those kind of variabilities. But we got to communicate. Couldn't
say it better myself. Let's be sure we're doing that out there. Guys, our time is just about to run out. I tell you, I could sit here and talk to you all day long about that. So, Geno, do you have any final comments for us today?
I just appreciate you having me here again. I thank the members again for their donations to the scholarship program. I want to thank the staff at TXAPA and HMAC for working with me so well this year. I think we've had a good year. It's been successful and it's been fun. And encourage our members not to forget about those virtual certifications and the HMAC now. What was their percentage? We said we had about 28 or 30% go through.
28%.
28%. So this last month, that's well over 100 people. It's going very successful, and I'm happy to see that. I think we've made some real good strides in 2020 that we might not would have made otherwise. So we kind of made lemonade out of lemons. So
Man, you are so right. We've changed some things for the better, and things that will be long lasting for sure. Jim, do you have a comment?
Yeah, we did get a question that just came in. Thanks, Tom. He says, sorry, I was driving, but I thought I heard something about a Sealcoat inspector certification. Is that going to be for actual job site inspection?
You bet. That will be for Sealcoat inspectors. Is who's that's going to be. Now it's not a done thing yet. I want to make sure everybody understands that we're in that process. We have just started that process. It was just the first developmental meeting, and from that meeting, it was decided that probably inspectors are the ones who need the latest information. So that needs to be a priority. So that would be a certification program for Sealcoat inspectors, those folks who go out in the field to inspect those projects to make sure we're getting good quality seal coat. That's the people that we're being looked at right now and how we can come up with that program and what it would look like. That answer your question, Jim?
I hope that answers your question, Tom. If not, give us a call. We'll try to get that. Yeah, I mean, we're just getting started, to be determined. So,
but that's who it will be. It will be focused
question.
on the person out in the field that's doing the inspection. So, Jim, you got any last comments for us?
No. Happy Thanksgiving, everybody.
Thank you, Jim. I appreciate that. You know, and that's what we want to say is thank you. Thank you for every one of you for being great supporters of TXAPA, this industry, of TxDOT, of being great partners throughout this process. At this Thanksgiving time, we at TXAPA are truly thankful for you. Y'all have really helped make this year a great success. As Geno was saying, we've done some different things. We've tried new things, and y'all have supported that and given us feedback that it was working. So we're going to continue to push the envelope. We're going to continue to look at new things to do, explore ways to how we can meet industry needs with our members and TxDOT partners. So thank you. I want to remind everybody that we have all of these up there, as Jim said earlier, on the YouTube page, the TXAPA YouTube page. All these videos are up there. I want to encourage everybody to go up there and see that. We also have so much information on our website, www.texasasphalt.org. Be sure you get up there and see all that information too. We only have 2 more TXAPA Lives that will be this year. The first one will be next month on the 10th. We're having our year in review with our outgoing president, Geno Carrier. So Geno's going to be back for his year in review, and he's going to tell us all the great things we've been doing this year. And of course, on the 17th, we're going to have a 2021 preview. And with that, we're going to have Craig Odom. And Jim, you misspelled Odom there. That's
yeah, I just saw that.
O-D-O-M. So,
yeah, well, nice working for you guys.
yeah. We'll see you next time. But Craig Odom is our incoming president from Reese Albert. Man, he's already engaged. We got a lot going on, and he's going to tell us about the coming 2021 year and what all was going on there. So just want to remind everybody that be sure and tune in for those. I want to say thank you again to our frontline heroes. We appreciate everybody out there in the labs, at the plants, on the roadways, designing these pavements, making sure they're all going. Hey, you be safe out there. There's a lot going on, so we want you to be safe, be secure. But you know what? Go put a smile on your face and go enjoy that big old Thanksgiving turkey. Thank y'all. Have a great Thanksgiving.